What's up, fight fans? And we're back at it with another one here at Round One Sports Talk. Well, there was a lot that's been said about the Naoya Inoue and Stephen Kubo Fulton fight. So I wanted to see what they all had to say. So I waited all day. I let them speak their mind, and I let everyone say exactly what they wanted to say about the fight before I addressed anything, right? Okay. So without further ado, you're not going to want to miss this video. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get all your notification. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. All right, now, quickly, a lot of these so-called channels that were saying all these things about Naoya Inoue being a hype job, being on a protective list, his hands being wrapped, steroids, and etc. The majority of these channels on YouTube all backpedaled on their story. All of them came out and said, no, we were always giving Naoya Inoue credit. We were just supporting Stephen Kubo Fulton. And I have no problem getting on and giving Naoya Inoue his flowers and saying now that he's the best thing since sliced bread. Hold up, pump your brakes. We never said that you weren't going to give him credit after he beat Stephen Kubo Fulton. That's not what we're accusing you guys of. What we're saying is you called him a hype job. You said he was on a protective list. You also told us that he was avoiding steroid testing and that he's got here because of loaded hand wraps. That's what you said. You went on and said that Top Rank and ESPN are promoting fighters like this, and that it's a shame that the corruption is showing its ugly face in the sport of boxing, and they're putting Naoya Inoue in the Top Rank pound for pound list like he didn't earn it. Like he's not showing that he is level above everyone else. He is an elite fighter. And he proved it against Stephen Kubo Fulton. And let's break down that fight right there. Okay. They also said that Stephen Kubo Fulton didn't show up. And that he didn't look like himself. Wow, what a coinkydink. And none of the other fighters that fought against Naoya Inoue looked like themselves, and they didn't show up neither. Neither did Donaire, neither did Rodriguez, neither did Maloney, neither did McDonald. Yeah, they all said the same thing. You want to know why? Let's break it down. Stephen Kubo Fulton came in that fight in the best shape of his life. He even looked great. He didn't look depleted or nothing, right? He looked fast, and he looked like he even had a new stand. He stood to the game plan. I'll tell you what happened. Naoya Inoue shut him down. That's what happened. He found out that his jab wasn't faster than Naoya Inoue's jab. And Stephen Kubo Fulton could not execute his game plan. The reason why he couldn't stand there and exchange, because he obviously felt something that you guys at home were not feeling. And those were those punches. Okay? They halted him in his tracks. Right? And then on top of that, his confidence level, and as the rounds were going by, he was starting to realize, or must have felt like he was in quicksand. And he couldn't get out. And no matter what he was doing on that night, even when he had his moments in the rounds, right, which I gave him credit for, he stood his ground. He wasn't there like a punching bag like Paul Butler. Paul Butler may have lasted longer than Stephen Kubo Fulton, but Paul Butler didn't put up a better fight than Stephen Kubo Fulton. That's for sure. Paul Butler got turned into a one-punch fighter, a retreating fighter. At least Fulton gave the crowd and all of us a few ahs when he sent Naoya Inoue back with that two-piece. He caught him straight up. Good for you. But he still didn't even win that round in my eyes. Naoya Inoue put out such a dominant performance. Tell me if he lost even one round in that fight. I'll wait. He won every single round. From the moment that bell went bing, he went to work. Now, Stephen Kubo Fulton, a lot of people are going to make excuses for him. But what I'm not going to make an excuse is that he could have possibly lost to the greatest fighter of our generation. That's right. I'm not ready to put Naoya Inoue in that conversation yet. Because although I am a fan and I do like Naoya Inoue, I can't be biased and I can't be a prisoner in the moment. And out of these lips, I will never put him so soon, not yet, in a category with the likes of Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather. Those are champions that have 5 divisions or more under their belt. They are 5 division world champions legitimately or better. Mayweather's a 6. Manny Pacquiao's technically, we're not going to get into that. But these are men that have conquered multiple divisions. Now, Naoya Inoue has conquered his 4th weight division. Okay? So he's on trajectory. So although, listen, Mayweather never captured all 4 belts, right? But Naoya Inoue has not caught Mayweather yet in regards to weight division and the amount of belts. He hasn't caught him yet. Okay? So that's why I know that he has the capability and the skill to pull it off. It's just a matter of time. Let's see where he ends up in, you know what I'm saying, and how far. Look, what makes Naoya Inoue so special to me, as an American, a lot of my American heroes have fallen to the lifestyle of their craft, whether it be boxing, baseball, basketball, football. I have seen a lot of athletes fall to the limelight, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You know what I'm saying? And, I saw Conor McGregor go through his thing when he fought Floyd. He was never the same when he came back. There were a lot of fighters in different sports throughout. The great Mike Tyson broke my heart. You know what I'm saying? Had his trainer never passed away and stood by him, and he never went through that era, I think Mike Tyson would have went down as one of the best heavyweights of all time. You know what I mean? And that in itself, when I see my athletes, but with Naoya Inoue, man, he's something special, man. He makes me feel like he's not going to make that mistake. He actually makes me feel like I can get behind him and know that he's not going to turn into, one of those fighters that threw it all away. You know what I'm saying? I was going to mention a fighter, but I don't need to put down a fighter to, to compare it. You know exactly what I'm talking about here. You know what I'm saying? And Naoya Inoue has that discipline and that mindset. I mean, for God's sake, he just won the WBC and the WBO, and it's no vacation. It's none of that. It's all superior mindset. It's all back to the lab. He wins the belts, he's going right back to training. He doesn't take time off. Like what I like to call the champion's curse. A champion, no sooner that he wins the belt, he wants to go on a hiatus. He wants to go on a vacation. And that's a mistake, because your body will fall out of shock, right, from not training. And then what it took you, you took a year off. It's going to take you a year to get right back where you were. But you know what the athlete thinks? Nah, I can do it. 2-3 months, I'll get back in there. And then they get knocked out. I've seen it time and time and time again. But something with this guy, man, just makes me feel like he's just committed. He is truly dedicated. He's on a journey that he wants to prove. He is not bullshitting. Naoya Inoue is on trajectory of unifying the 122-pound weight division titles. And if he pulls that off, I guarantee you, mark my words, no sooner than he wins those belts, he's going to vacate. And he has a tendency of just skipping by a weight division. You know what I'm saying? He went up 2 weight divisions in one of his jumps. So, I don't know if he makes a stop at 126 or if he just goes up to 130. I don't know what his plans are. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. First, He has Tapales in front of him. Now, I'm going to tell you a little secret about Tapales. You know, I watched Tapales just this morning. I wanted to really go over some of his fights. If anything, Tapales, you know what Tapales reminds me of? Those durable Mexican fighters that can take an ass whooping all night and turn it up in the later rounds, right? Okay, being the fact that I'm not going to read too much into the fact that he kind of gassed out against MJ in the later rounds, and MJ was the one that turned it up in the later rounds on him, right? But he's the one that usually does that. Coming into a fight with Naoya Inoue, he's going to be at the best of his game. Naoya Inoue has to be prepared to give this man a beating for almost 12 rounds if he takes the beating for 12 rounds, okay? But other than that, I have seen good, skilled fighters, really good fighters, right? Highly skilled, winning the entire fight, and that durability inside of that fighter and that pressure caught up to him, and he hit him with them shots and them big hooks and end up dropping him. And everyone was saying, man, this guy was winning the entire fight. He looked like the better fighter. He had the better skill. But that pressure sometimes can get to fighters such as skilled as a Naoya Inoue. But there's just one thing with Naoya Inoue and the rest of those other fighters. He just doesn't have skill. He has enough power to back him off of him. You know what I'm saying? And that's what makes it interesting. You know, I know these are the scenarios that I'm bringing to you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm bringing all kinds of scenarios and I bring facts here, right? Was I not the one that told you that was a mistake that Fulton's coach did about those hand wraps? Didn't I tell you that he could have talked about that behind closed doors? And didn't I explain the process to you of how they did the hand wraps, right? And then, right in the ring, as soon as you cut him off, you can look at the end of the fight. Stephen Kubo Fulton is on camera giving his hand wraps to the commission, the boxing commission that was outside of the ropes, right? Naoya Inoue did the same thing. They followed them with the cameras all the way back to the locker room. Cameras right on him. And you better believe it. You know what I'm saying? And they cut him off and he handed him right in. And I need not to remind you that Naoya Inoue did not have to agree to wrap his hands the way Fulton team wanted him to. Because he was in his legal right by the rules of Japan that he could wrap his hands the way he was wrapping them. I want you to understand that, okay? Had Naoya Inoue said, nah, I'm going by Japanese rules, there was nothing Stephen Kubo Fulton could have did but back out of the fight and back out of all the millions of dollars. And he wasn't going to do that. So he would have had to fight him with his hands wrapped the way he chose the rules of Japan. Had Naoya Inoue wanted to be a dick, that's all you had to do is say no. I just want you to understand that he said, how do you want me to wrap my hands? Please, show me. Go ahead, you do it. They watched him wrap his hands. They wrapped them. They approved them, checked them, and he knocked them out just like that. That just goes to show you, I'm bringing you all facts. I'm not going to lie to you, and I'm not going to bring you false content. I'm going to tell you the rules and how things go down. They're going to make it sound good, but it's all bullshit. You know what I'm saying? If you come to this channel right here, you come to this channel to hear the facts and tell it like it is. And I'm going to give the fighter credit when it's due. Okay? We have a big fight coming up right now. Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. I want to make a video on that. Please show me your support on that video too. Please show me your support on this video. Share it. You know what I mean? And all these guys out here, all these social media channels, man, they had to eat krill, man. They had to eat their words. And they had to come out and give this man his credit. And they all talking like they were doing it the whole time. Like they had his back the whole time. They you know, what they were doing to Naoya Inoue was the same thing they did to a lot of fighters. And I could see where they were backing up their fighters. And I agreed to that. But they became biased and they took it and ran with it. And they didn't even give this kid credit. They didn't even do their homework, half these guys on this thing, because, man, had they did at least a little bit of their homework, they would have saw he's a real one. You know what I mean? So, look, that's all I have for you. I just wanted to break down a few things. Let these guys shoot off what they had to say, because I'll go last. Because I know what I'm saying is the facts. And I keep it 100. And I didn't mislead you guys. Everything I told you was the truth, and it happened. So please, when you come to this channel, be prepared to be told the truth, not lie to you. And I'll never be biased. Here at Round 1 Sports Talk. On to the next video. Peace.